Before we can start finding solutions to inequity in our movement and in society, we have to better understand the various layers of racism. So there's a great model called the Four Eyes of Oppression, which you can use to look at various forms of oppression, and in this case, I'll use it to look at racism. So the first is the broadest, which is ideological, and it refers to a system of beliefs or ideas, typically that one group of people is better than another. The next is institutional, which refers to how institutions and systems reinforce and manifest this ideology. The next is interpersonal, which explains how we play this oppression out on one another. And internalized explains how one oppressed group can oppress another marginalized group. So I wanted to look at institutional racism with a little bit more depth because I'm hearing it more and more in the news and it's increasingly becoming a hot topic. And institutional racism is also known as systemic racism, and it explains how racism, and it helps us elucidate racism that's found in both physical and social institutions. And this kind of racism has the power to impact broad groups of people broadly. It's not as easy to spot as individual racism because it's couched behind this veil of how things are. So there are very obvious examples of this, such as slavery, which was an actual institution which was predicated on racism. But we now see in this country, the United States, more subtle aspects of racism. So for example, the wealth gap. For every $100 a white family has, a black family has $5.04. This is an institution which has got racism baked into it. Bias in healthcare. So black folks are given less access to emergency services, less access to pain management, and it refers to just a lifetime of racism that leads to chronic illness. Other examples are the criminal justice system, where black and brown folks are disproportionately incarcerated. Political representation, voter suppression, you hear these all the time. These are institutions that are baked with racism. So I think it's important to be able to spot racism in all the ways that they manifest, since many of us work on food justice issues and the food system, I should say. Let's look at how many forms of systemic racism we can identify. Based on a quick brainstorm, I found 7. I think we as a group can come up with more. So write your ideas for how the food system has got systemic racism baked into it, and we can learn from each other. Thanks so much.